the insurance companies have one interest in mind, and it's not their policyholders.
Does the insurance company have your best interest at heart if you're injured in a collision? Well, that's what we're going to ask the lawyer today. Hi again, everybody. I'm Rob Rosenthal with AskTheLawyers.com, and my guest is New York attorney Michael Greenspan. Mike, thank you. It's good to see you. Thank you for making some time to answer our questions.
My pleasure. Good to see you as well.
So we see all the advertisements. They're our good neighbor. We're in good hands. They care about us. They're going to be there for us at all times. In your experience, is that the way it works with insurance companies?
Not even close. I think that as any New Yorker who has experienced the aftermath of Hurricane Sandy a few years back has realized the insurance companies have one interest in mind, and it's not their policyholders.
What is it?
Well, what the insurance companies want to do is they want to keep their money. They like taking your premiums, but they don't want to pay out on a claim. So it has really been a situation where the insurance company, even though they're not supposed to, they treat their own policyholders as adversaries, let alone someone making a claim against somebody else.
So what do people need to do? What are they? Let's say I'm in an automobile collision. I'm injured. What is your advice? What do I need to know when it comes to dealing with the insurance company on both sides?
Yeah, well, you're right, because there are two sides to this issue. So let's start on their side. First thing they need to do is they need to notify their insurance company that they were involved in a crash. Now, New York has a rule that they have to notify their insurer and file an application for what's called no-fault benefits within 30 days of the crash. But you don't want to wait. So that day, everybody has a smartphone now. As soon as you're medically stable, you've gotten medical care that you need, which is, of course, the most important thing, you've got to let your own insurance company know what happened and ask that they provide you an application for benefits.
But what about dealing with the other side's insurance company, Mike?
Yeah, it's very important to know that there is an insurance company for the vehicle on the other side of this equation, the one that caused you to be hurt in the first place.
Right.
And you don't want to deal with them directly. You want to have your lawyer do that. And the reason being is the insurance company for the person that was at fault does not have your interest at heart. And what they are in is in survival mode. And what that means is the adjuster for that insurance company is going to do everything he or she can to get information out of you at the earliest date, which can and will be used against you in any subsequent proceeding. And it's important to understand that while most of us, when we're hurt, we always think, or even whether we're sick, well, I'm going to get better. This will pass. Maybe it's not as bad as, it seems right now. And so if they hear from an insurance company for the other vehicle, they'll have their guard down and they may say something which may not be accurate. It's not that the person's going to lie to the carrier, because you're never supposed to do that. You never should. That's committing insurance fraud. But the point is, it's just a natural reaction. We've seen this over our many years of representing people that at first, yeah, I'm fine. Mm-hmm. Even when you're not. Well, yeah, my neck hurts, my back hurts, but it'll get better. And then as the days and weeks progress, you realize, wow, what you thought wasn't such a big deal may be a very big deal. And if you've spoken with the insurance company for the other side and said, yeah, I'm really not that hurt, I'm okay, what you've done is you've really caused yourself a tremendous problem for prosecuting any lawsuit or even just a claim against them.
So even if you just thought, oh, it's just a casual conversation, they're just calling to check up on me, that could be used as evidence and used against you.
Yeah, they can. And one of the other problems that you have to understand is that they want to make it casual. And there's some insurers, including one that advertises heavily, we all know who it is, they will even send somebody to your home right away. And they seem to especially want to do this to people who they identify as not being a U.S. citizen. And what they try to do is get a person to sign away their rights. So imagine this. You've been hurt. Your car is pretty much wrecked. And now an adjuster from an insurance company comes and says, don't worry about it. We're going to take care of everything. We'll get your car fixed. And we're going to even give you something for your trouble. And before you know it, you've signed away your rights. So while the car might get fixed, you've gotten a check for a couple $100 and you've absolutely foreclosed any claim you have against that insurance company.
Now, Mike, in your experience, have you seen that you mentioned non-American citizens? Do you see this kind of thing happening with minority communities? Are they treated differently? Well, what's your experience?
It sure, Rob, it sure seems that way, especially in New York. There are insurance companies who aggressively go after minorities and people who they think do not speak English as a first language. And the idea is to take advantage of them and saying, well, listen, if you can't speak English well enough, we can take advantage of you so you won't know your rights. I know, look, and we who do this sort of work, we find it offensive. So I take a special gratitude and joy when I can represent an immigrant who an insurance company has tried to take advantage of, and now they come to me and I can make sure they get justice, not just any justice, but full justice for what they've been through.
So even if they are, say, an undocumented immigrant, Mike, are they still entitled to the same representation and the same?
They sure do.
The insurance company should treat them
just because you're undocumented doesn't mean that you have rights. And if you've been hurt through no fault of your own because of somebody else's wrongdoing on a roadway, because somebody just didn't follow an important safety rule, well, you have rights, and those rights can be vindicated. So we'll make sure, even if you are in this country without proper documentation, we'll make sure that your medical bills are taken care of, and we'll make sure that if you've sustained an injury, and it's at the level that New York calls a serious injury, we're going to make sure to get you the compensation that you deserve.
Let's talk just a little bit in general then, Mike. What is the advantage of my having an attorney such as yourself on my case? I've been injured in an automobile collision. What other things can having an attorney do for me?
Well, the attorney is going to explain the law regarding car crashes in New York is very complex. There are a lot of moving parts. And what you have to understand is you don't know what you don't know. As a victim, you could know, sure, that the other person was responsible for it and that you've been hurt and they should pay you something. But how does that work? How do you know what they should pay you? And how do you know what is an appropriate amount in order to make sure that that insurance company is treating you right? Because they will treat you much differently when you have an attorney fighting for you than if they think they can take advantage of you and settle a case without you really having the full disclosure of what's at hand.
The insurance companies, are they likely to make an offer, some sort of monetary offer, and should you just assume they're not going to start with their highest offer, and if there were an attorney, that offer is going to be rejected more than likely?
Well, you have to look at it. The insurance company's job is to pay as little and take as long as possible in doing it. So there's no way that an insurance company who's going to go to somebody who's been injured in a crash and treat them fairly like they should, and we all expect them that they will. So understanding that, that's why it's important for someone to come to a lawyer. And those of us who do this kind of work, we do this in a special way. That means you don't pay us a retainer fee. You don't write us a check in order to get us to start working on the case. We only get paid at the end if we're successful. And success means that we have extracted money from the insurance company, from that vehicle which caused you to be hurt, and we will get a percentage of that. And if we don't get money from them, you don't owe us anything.
What about that initial consultation, Mike, where I'm thinking, I'm not even sure if I have a case, and I contact your office? What about that? Do I need to be expected to come out of pocket for that?
You will owe us nothing. And it's important that you seek legal advice. That initial consultation is going to explain to you what you need to know and give you the information so that you can make an educated decision as to what to do for your case. And that's why, because there's no charge for it, you don't have to worry about it. The attorney can and should take the time to make sure you understand all the things that will be at play in prosecuting a case if you've been injured in a car wreck here in New York or even anywhere else. And that's why it's important to get that legal advice and get it quickly.
Lots of great advice as usual, Mike. Thank you so much, and it was good talking to you again.
Good to you as well. Stay safe.
My guest has been New York attorney Michael Greenspan. That's going to do it for this episode of Ask the Lawyer. If you'd like the best information or you'd like to have a chance to choose a lawyer that lawyers choose, make sure to go to askthelawyer.com. Also, please take a second to like, share, and subscribe by clicking on the button below so you'll know about future episodes. Thanks for watching. I'm Rob Rosenthal with AskTheLawyers.com.